This fun fold card is cut all out of the same piece of paper. I have a trick to show you. Hello, hello. Welcome to sunnydaystamping.com. I'm Julie Baca. I'm so glad that you're here. We are making a really great fun fold. It's got a couple of tricks, but trust me, I made all the mistakes ahead of time. So I have lots of tips to share so that you're going to be able to make it right the first time. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I have a corresponding blog post for all of these videos. It's over on my website. That's where I share the measurements because I want you to make these at home. I use Stampin' Up! Products, so if you want your cards to look just like mine, I have the supply list for you also, but I do design these so that you could use them with any stamps, ink, and paper that you have. So let's get started. We're going to start by doing some stamping and cutting out our flowers to go around the edge of the shaped card. Now I'm going to be using Impressions Abloom. It is a brand new stamp set that I absolutely love it. It is perfect for simple stamping, which is some of my favorites. But then the die set, I'll show you later, has tons of other pieces for more intricate cards. So I also want to show you how to use these stamps that kind of build on each other. My preference is to take the inside detail part of the stamp and stamp that first. And then I take my fill-in, which is just a flat one. And then I stamp that off and then line it up and stamp it over the detail piece. This stamp also comes with a center. Ooh, wait, I don't want to do that in yellow. I want to do it in black. So it has a center with some detail. I'm actually going to stamp that off. And then it has just a flat circle. You know, maybe I'll do that in yellow. And I'm going to also stamp that off and stamp it over. So we needed 4 stamps to build that flower. And it can get confusing when you have multiple pieces because this has multiple different flowers that build together. So I've got a tip for you. I like to build what I call a stamp map, and I keep it right inside of my stamp set after I've built it. And this is how it works. On the right side of your paper, stamp your full stamp, all the stamps built in to build that flower or leaf. But then on this side, you are going to build up to your completed project. So this was the detail, this was the fill-in, this was the dark detail inside, and the stamped off inside to build this flower. And you do that all the way down for easy reference when you go to build your stamps. Another tip is it can be hard to line up your stamps so that they turn out perfectly on this side, perfectly lined up. So when you stamp your different elements, make sure they're pointed in the same direction. So on this detail stamp, you can see that it's got one petal of this flower that sticks out farther than the others. So make sure when you stamp this one, which is the fill-in, that it also is pointed that same direction. This will just be a good reminder. So I hope that is a helpful tip. I like to tuck mine right in here, which really helps me identify which shapes I need to build the flower or leaf that I'm working on. So let's keep going with our cutout flowers. Go ahead and grab your next flower. We're going to use fresh freesia for this example, and I have a bunch of examples to show you at the end. Now this one has that V, so when you go to fill in, look for the V here so that it'll line up perfectly. Grab your scrap paper so that you can stamp off. This is going to give a lighter version of that same color, so you don't have to buy multiple stamp sets. Now you can see I did not stamp that perfectly, but it still looks good. Now for the inside of this fresh freesia flower, we're going to stamp it in this new color. It's called Darling Duckling. Now we're going to do the small flower, and I have a tip for putting this one together also. On this stamp, there is one that is more straight across the top, this one. So on the fill-in, as you turn it around, there's one that is more just kind of a wide petal. And this is also going to be helpful when we go to cut them out with the dies. to identify those kind of standout petals so you can more easily line things up. Now here are the dies that go with that bundle. You can tell there are a ton of pieces. We are not using all these pieces. We're just going to use these 3 to cut out our flowers, and let me show you how to line those up. So remember, on this large flower, there was this one petal that was sticking out farther and taller than the others, and that is going to match this one. So once you pick out that petal, you can line it up perfectly. This one, remember, has the V, so look for that V and line that up. Bam, perfect. Now this one has that kind of flat, fat flower petal, and that aligns with this part of the die. So go ahead and run that through the machine. Actually, I forgot. I want to stamp a large flower and a small flower for the inside of the card. So go ahead and do that now also. All right, now let's make the card base. Make sure you grab a piece of thick basic white. Basic white comes in regular or thick, and you want it thick when you're going to use it for a card base. Now we're going to rotate it so that it's in portrait mode, and we're going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. Now you're going to rotate it and score it at 5 1/2. Now all of these measurements are on my website, sunnydaystamping.com. If you'd like this print and make project sheet, I email this out to my email subscribers. You can see it's got that stamp map on there for your reference. This goes out to my email subscribers. I just emailed it out this morning. If you aren't on my email list, go ahead and get on there. This is free for that first week. It's in my welcome email. After that, it goes to my tutorial store so you can pick it up there. Now, after you've scored it in half, we're going to mark it at 2 3/4. So don't score it or cut it. You're going to mark it with a pencil, and you aren't even going to have to erase this because this is actually going to be turned to the inside. But go ahead and just use that track line to mark it there. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold mine along the score line just so I can see the score line, but open it up for this next part. Now grab that oval out of this die set. You can see this die set has all kinds of other pieces. It is amazing. Now there are a couple things to note for this part. Make sure that your card base is parallel with your plate, making sure the straighter everything about this part is, the better. So try to make that straight. You're going to put your oval die right in the center. Now, if you don't have this die set, you can use a circle, you could use a rectangle, but you're going to use these same tips. So you want that tick mark where we marked the center of this card front to go right in the center of that oval there. Now, once you have everything all lined up, you can even put a piece of washi tape there if you wanted to. Checking again that your paper is going to go in nice and straight. Now, don't run this all the way through your machine. You're going to run it halfway through, and this line is the halfway mark. We're going to line that up with this little tick mark that we made right there. So we're going to go ahead and run that through. Now I see my tick mark there, and I'm just going to guess about when it's going to go through my machine and back it back out. Now don't stress. If you can't guesstimate exactly where that is, just don't go as far, and I've got a tip for you. If you go past it, don't worry. That happened to me too, and it will still work as long as you don't go too far. When I was testing these, I realized it was better to not cut as far than it was to cut too far. So you can see I did not cut all the way to the score line. I was almost there, but not quite. So that is perfect. Go ahead and take your paper snips and just snip it just the littlest bit so that when we fold this, it's going to be perfect. We'll check this side. Yep, needs just a little bit. Now, if you accidentally roll it through the machine past your score line, it will probably be okay, unless you do it all the way this far. Okay, now check this out. We're not even going to have to erase those little marks. you're going to go ahead and fold your card base back. And then right where those tick marks are, we're going to fold. We're going to bring these corners to the corner edges over here, making sure they are nice and straight. So you can see I didn't quite make it. Do you see how it's not lining up perfectly? Okay, that bugs me. But that is when we're going to take the scissors and snip it a little bit more. I guess I didn't snip it quite far enough. Now we'll be able to reach it. There. I'm glad that mistake happened while I was on camera so that I can show you how to fix it. Oh no, I had black on me. Rats, man. Well, we're going to keep pressing even though that mark is there. So now you can see, is that just the coolest? But now we'll decorate it. So for the inside of the card here, you're going to want a piece of designer series paper. I'm going to use this Floral Impressions, which is in the suite with that same bundle. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? I'm going to use this piece, but I'm actually going to turn it over to the more patterned side. But you can do it either way. And let's glue that in place. Now grab whatever sentiments that you want to use out of that stamp set and put it right here in. Oh no, I can't mess up on this. Hold on, I gotta put my head in the camera. Oh, yay, I did it. I cannot believe I did it, but I did. Okay, if this happens to you and you can't recover, don't worry. The way to fix that without having to cut a whole new card base is grab that oval and cut yourself another piece and then just glue it down right on top of there. It's going to fit perfectly because it's from the same die, and then you can cover up any mistakes that you made. Now we do need one of these for the inside, so I'm going to save this over here. Okay, I'm going to finish up this sentiment before my disaster. Let's see, hopefully. Yeah, okay, good. Whew. Now let's stamp a little more. I am gonna put this scratch paper in here just to protect my card base there. And then I'm gonna put this scratch paper here so that I'm not stamping all over this section. So this is gonna look ugly for a minute, but then it's gonna look amazing. Now stamp a couple flowers and a couple leaves on this shaped edge here. I really like the look of stamping on this folded edge part. So make sure that your card is completely protected before you do that. Now let's take this scrap paper off. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's just gorgeous just like that. Let's just place some of these on here so we can decide how many more flowers we should put on. I think I'm going to stamp a couple of these flowers in here. I'm going to protect my card again while I put one more flower here. And then I'm actually going to lift this up to put one. We'll do it right here. Okay, let's see how this looks. Oh, gorgeous. Now let's take some of these, we'll take 3 of the flowers that we cut. Oh no, that is way too much glue, I know it. Hold on, I'm gonna just take my silicone craft sheet and spread some of that. There we go. And then let's glue these in place. We definitely want them going off of this curved section here. I'm gonna pop this one up with dimensionals. Just gonna put 2 on here because we don't want it to stick to this part and make it closed. So we'll put that about right there. And then we'll tuck this little flower in underneath. Just put a little bit on one side, keeping this side without any glue. And tuck that under there. Oh, so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Okay, now for the inside, because we need a little place to write, although I guess you could write right here. Grab that oval that you cut out and stamp a greeting on it. I love the cursive on this. I appreciate you. Oh, love it. So now you want to glue this here, but you don't want to just go gluing that right in the middle because you may not have cut this perfectly. You can see that that would be showing and that would bug me. So I've got a tip for you. Go ahead and open this all the way. Take this one and put it in line with your oval there that is cut into your card base, and then put some glue around here. And now hold that in place. Don't let that wiggle. And then close this. But just kind of tap it just enough to grab that because we want to test it and see if it worked. Yeah. And if it's in the center. Now, the reason why I got really lucky and I did this well this time. On my first one, my die was kind of cattywampus. So when I did it like this, it was obviously crooked. Yeah, here it is. Let me show you. So it looks great, but then on the inside you can see that it's crooked, but I had smushed it down so I couldn't get it off of there. So that's why I say when you just tap it real quick, because then you can maneuver it so it looks better in the center, but still not showing through to the front. Now take these two optional flowers to put on the inside of your card. Then we're going to grab just a couple of embellishments to put on here. These are the iridescent pearl gems. I'm just going to tuck one under there. They have these two different sizes and they're so delicate. They're just perfect for this. And we'll put one right over there. Hold up, we're not done. We got to make a matching envelope like super fast. You can stamp on the envelope, but I'm going to take this designer series paper and put it on the envelope. Take your envelope flap. I just like to fold it so it lays down nice and straight, and put glue on the flap. Now I'm using my silicone craft sheet because I don't want to get glue on my work surface. You can see that glue I smeared on there earlier is almost dry, and I'll be able to just rub it right off of there. Grab a little piece of designer series paper. I have the measurement for that on that project sheet or on my website. And just, I like to do this with my bone folder. It gets it nice and straight. Then flip it over and trim around the edge. Just use that envelope flap as a guide and trim. Just takes a second and you've got like a gorgeous, gorgeous set. Is that so perfect for spring and summer? Here are some other ones I made using that same designer series paper and using the colors out of that designer series paper. Here's another one, just beautiful, beautiful colors. This is the new Strawberry Lush. And then this one I used just the that is like my favorite piece of designer series paper, so I put that on the inside, and I didn't do as many flowers just to detract from it. So I hope this gives you a ton of ideas on how to use this technique for a shaped card base. To get that free project sheet, make sure you're on my email list by May 15th to get that in my welcome email. But if you missed it, you can pick it up in my tutorial store, but make sure to still sign up because I send out a new project sheet every single week. I also put out a new video every Friday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified so you don't miss out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.